Hi, welcome to Tesla Car World. You may or may not have noticed, but the Tesla Semi is the only Tesla vehicle that doesn't have a dedicated production line. In the past, manufacturing the Tesla Semi relied mostly on manual assembly lines, with very few specialized machines capable of producing parts for large trucks like big rigs. This has been one of the biggest bottlenecks, which explains why there are fewer than 1,000 Tesla Semis on the market today, even though it's been nearly 8 years since its debut. People often joke that building the Semi is truly production hell. The lack of scale and advanced automated manufacturing technology has been the main reason Tesla has struggled to meet the growing demand in the trucking industry. Now, Tesla has addressed the scaling issue with a brand new 4 million square foot factory dedicated to Semi production. But, clearly, a proper production line is still missing. However, a major turning point just happened. Drone footage from Zaynagler, the Tesla Semi advocate, captured the moment a massive press machine was transported from Giga, Texas to Giga, Nevada, using 2 trucks and 3 trailers. This was not only an impressive logistical feat, but also a clear sign that Tesla is preparing to change the game with a Giga press built specifically for semi-truck production. With the arrival of this machine, the goal of producing a Semi every 10 minutes, an ambition that could help Tesla reach Elon Musk's target of 50,000 trucks per year, now seems more achievable than ever. So how exactly will a Tesla Semi be built? Could this be the key for Tesla to conquer the global trucking industry? Let's find out. Have you ever wondered why Tesla has never used a die-casting machine for semi-trucks? Currently, Tesla only uses the Gigapress to manufacture models like the Model Y, Cybertruck, and Cybercab, casting the front or rear underbody in a single piece instead of assembling dozens, or even hundreds, of smaller parts through welding, bolting, or gluing as in traditional methods. However, the Tesla Semi is a heavy-duty truck with far greater dimension and weight compared to the Model Y or Cybertruck. Its frame must withstand massive loads and harsh operating conditions, requiring different designs and materials. The existing Tesla Giga press machines, with clamping forces ranging from 6,200 to 9,100 tons, may not be large enough or optimized to cast the bigger, more complex components needed for a heavy-duty truck. Furthermore, developing a larger Giga press would require a bigger factory footprint, which is why Tesla hasn't used die casting for the Semi until now. However, according to Sawyer Merritt, citing video footage captured by Zaynagler, he wrote on X, Tesla has just taken delivery of a very big and heavy package at their new semi-truck production facility in Nevada. It appears like it could be a stamping press for the Tesla Semi. It took 2 semi-trucks and a triple trailer to move it. Tesla Semi production is expected to start in the coming months. The truth is, we usually only see the final product, the sleek Tesla Semi, but rarely think about the massive machines required to build it. The fact that it takes 2 trucks and a triple trailer just to move a single piece of factory equipment is a powerful reminder of the incredible engineering and logistics happening behind the scenes. This isn't just about building a truck, it's about building the machine that builds another machine. And you know what? The Tesla Semi is unlike any other electric truck in the world. Just look at it. 500 miles of range, 80% charge in 30 minutes, 0 to 60 miles per hour acceleration in 20 seconds, the ability to haul a gross weight of 82,000 pounds, energy consumption of 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile, or even 1.55 kilowatt hours per mile in the latest performance figures, and many more specs. Clearly, no other electric truck in the world can compare to the Tesla Semi, because from the very beginning, it was designed and built in a completely different way.
We were really inspired by the high-speed trains.
Yeah.
We've been to Japan, the Shinkansen, where this really kind of super aerodynamic train, just for obviously efficiency at high speed. So that was a big inspiration for this.
Tesla's chief designer, Franz von Holzhausen, has revealed a lot about how the semi-trucks are built. He emphasized that the Tesla team isn't constrained by the traditional designs of internal combustion engine trucks. They don't need a central gearbox or a large front engine, which allows them to completely rethink the truck's layout. This opens the door to creating a truck that is not only efficient, but also more comfortable and safer. Tesla engineers spent time talking to many truck drivers and realized that the cab is essentially their office, where they spend hours every day. As a result, the design focuses on comfort, turning the Tesla Semi into an ideal workspace, a complete departure from conventional truck cabins. One of the most striking features of the Tesla Semi is its aerodynamic design. The truck draws inspiration from Japan's Shinkansen high-speed trains, with a bullet or teardrop-like shape to minimize air resistance. Its drag coefficient is only about 0.4, nearly twice as efficient as traditional diesel trucks, which usually range between 0.8 and 0.9. This means the Tesla Semi doesn't push against a wall of air like older trucks. Instead, it slices smoothly through it. The Aerodynamics team invested heavily in optimization, including a flat underbody without protruding exhaust systems or large drive shafts. They used detailed wind tunnel models to simulate headwinds, crosswinds, and interactions with trailers, ensuring the entire system operates efficiently. The result? The Semi consumes less energy, extends its range, and lowers operating costs, a crucial factor considering trucks account for 12% of fuel consumption in the U.S. From a technical standpoint, the Tesla Semi emphasizes safety and ease of drive. That's why most feedback from PepsiCo drivers indicates that the Semi is much easier to drive than they expected. Without a gearbox, driving becomes as simple as piloting an electric car. The driver sits in a central position, providing a panoramic view of the road and surroundings, reducing blind spots. The interior is spacious, featuring a steering wheel and 2 large screens to control all functions, along with a small storage compartment in the front, similar to other Tesla models. Safety is enhanced by a low center of gravity reducing rollover risk, an active control system that prevents jackknifing and nearly wear-free brakes. The truck also comes with blast-resistant glass and advanced autopilot features. Because there aren't many strict safety regulations for trucks, Tesla applied the high standards from its other vehicles, effectively making the Semi the safest truck ever built. Technical performance is another standout feature. The Semi uses 3 independent rear-wheel motors, delivering around 1,500 system horsepower, but tuned to prioritize durability and efficiency. It doesn't have all-wheel drive. Instead, it focuses on the 2 tandem drive axles, which helps extend tire life, a major cost in the trucking industry. The steer tires aren't subjected to torque, so they wear more slowly, according to regulations. The truck has 2 different gear ratios, one for high-speed efficiency, cruising axle, and one for high torque axle, allowing 0 to 60 miles per hour acceleration in 5 seconds when unloaded, or 20 seconds when hauling 80,000 pounds. At startup, all drive wheels are engaged. Then it switches to a stable mode to save energy. Many components are borrowed from other Tesla platforms, such as carbon-wrapped rotors from the Model S Plaid or drive inverters from the Cybertruck, leveraging Tesla's proven experience and reliability. At first glance, most of us might think the semi-truck sits lower than a traditional truck. However, that's really just an optical illusion. The steps are designed lower to make it easier for drivers to climb in. The floor height is actually comparable to a conventional truck, but Tesla has broken the steps into smaller increments to reduce strain when getting in and out, which is the leading cause of workplace accidents in the trucking industry. The ground clearance of the Semi is also similar to other trucks, but Tesla has optimized entry and exit for both safety and efficiency. So, does the air suspension adjust? Yes, Tesla Semi is confirmed to have adjustable air suspension, which is very useful when connecting to trailers of different heights or when navigating obstacles. Additionally, the door design of the Tesla Semi is quite unique, clearly aimed at making it easier for drivers to get in and out. Speaking about the Semi's door design, Franz von Holzhausen explained that the Semi has a tapered front, and placing the hinge at the front would disrupt the teardrop shape, making it less aerodynamic. Therefore, they positioned the hinge at the rear, where the body is flatter, which is a sensible solution, similar to what's seen on the Rolls-Royce Silver Spur. Although Tesla respects drivers' habits, it isn't afraid to break traditional norms. For example, they eliminated the large front grille, a signature feature of diesel trucks, because electric vehicles don't require the same cooling system. Tesla also pays attention to practical details, such as serviceability. Recognizing that truck drivers sometimes bump the front corners, Tesla designed this area to be easily replaceable, reducing repair costs and downtime. Initially, the Tesla Semi's design faced skepticism from traditional drivers who considered it the ugliest thing. However, after experiencing it, they were quickly won over by the 15% fuel savings and the comfortable driving environment. The Tesla Semi is currently equipped with an 850 kilowatt-hour battery, consuming 1.7 kilowatt-hours per mile, with a verified range of 500 miles in testing so far. However, the company plans to switch to 4680 cells in the next version of the Semi. The 4680 cells are significantly larger than the LFP cells currently used, increasing energy capacity by roughly 5 times and output power by 6 times. This allows the Semi to achieve a longer range without adding many more battery cells, a particularly important factor for electric trucks, as reducing the tractor's weight increases its payload capacity. It's unclear which part of the Semi's frame Tesla will produce using the Gigapress. but it's evident that it will dramatically speed up production compared to previous methods. Elon Musk has repeatedly emphasized that Tesla will start producing around 50,000 trucks per year in 2026, which naturally raises some skepticism given the current limited number of semis. Producing 50,000 trucks annually translates to making one semi roughly every 10 minutes. With the gigapress, this is entirely feasible, since the most complex step has always been manufacturing the frame. The gigapress technology enables the casting of large and complex semi-truck components in a single shot, significantly reducing the welding and bolting time required in the past. This alone cuts production time from about an hour down to just a few minutes, while also improving the overall frame quality. The gigapress can even help lower manufacturing costs, which in turn could make the semi's market price more competitive. Currently, rumors suggest the Tesla Semi Foundation series may be priced at around $250,000. We're not sure because Tesla hasn't confirmed this. It wouldn't be unreasonable given the size of the battery pack and the impressive engineering behind the big rig. On Tesla Semi website, Tesla highlights that charging with electricity costs roughly half as much per mile compared to fueling with diesel. Operators can save an estimated $150,000 in fuel costs within the first 3 years of ownership. With remote diagnostics, over-the-air software updates, and fewer moving parts that require maintenance, operators will spend less time at service centers and more time on the road. With an energy consumption of just 1.7 kilowatt-hours per mile, the operating cost comes out to about 30 cents per mile. This means that for a 6.5-mile trip, the driver spends only around $3.30 based on current electricity rates. In comparison, a typical diesel truck would need about 1 gallon of fuel to cover the same distance, and with diesel prices reaching $3.66 per gallon, the operating cost is significantly higher. But as mentioned earlier, the benefits of the Semi go beyond operating costs. In terms of maintenance, electric trucks are far simpler than their diesel counterparts. With no internal combustion engine, no complex transmission, and far fewer moving parts, the risk of breakdowns is greatly reduced. If you look around and examine how the world operates, you'll quickly realize the importance of an efficient supply chain and the timely movement of goods. While ships are widely used to transport cargo across continents and between countries, trucks remain the most efficient and most common method of moving goods over land. According to recent reports, the trucking industry handles more than 70% of all freight in the U.S. It also accounts for nearly 6% of all full-time jobs in the country and generates roughly $700 billion in annual revenue. Truck drivers consume about 12% of the total fuel used in the U.S. Although the share of freight moved by trucks varies from country to country, trucking is generally considered one of the largest and most critical industries worldwide. This makes the case for a fully electric semi-truck all the more compelling. Yet many drivers who have experienced the Tesla Semi say they never want to drive any other truck again. The Tesla Semi delivers a driving experience unlike any other Class 8 truck, not to mention its extremely low energy consumption and operating costs. For years, the global freight industry has been squeezed by a paradox: rising demand for goods, but a shrinking workforce of drivers. The core issue isn't just about wages or working conditions. It lies in the harsh realities of the job. Spending dozens of hours on the road, overnight hauls, and relentless pressure to meet delivery deadlines that push drivers into exhaustion. As reflexes decline, the risk of accidents rises, creating a vicious cycle that makes many people hesitant to enter the profession. As a solution to attract younger drivers into the industry, Elon Musk revealed that Tesla is testing full self-driving on the Semi, with plans to roll it out as early as the end of this year for the Semi's second version. Once the Semi can safely operate autonomously on highways, drivers will no longer be slaves to the steering wheel. They'll be able to rest, recover their focus, and step in only for complex routes or emergency situations. This not only reduces fatigue-related accidents, but also redefines the long-haul trucking profession, transforming it from an exhausting grind into a more sustainable and appealing career. And if Musk delivers on his promise, bringing FSD to the Semi could create a dual breakthrough, addressing the global driver shortage while boosting freight efficiency with trucks that virtually never get tired. This isn't merely an upgrade, it's a structural shift that could reshape the entire logistics industry in the coming decade. This alone makes the Semi the best electric truck in the world. Although its rollout was delayed for years due to the limited production capacity at Giga Nevada, this year the Tesla Semi is expected to dominate the trucking industry with large-scale production and the integration of full self-driving. If, within the next 2 to 3 years, the Tesla Semi enters the global market, its impact will extend beyond transportation efficiency to a profound environmental footprint. According to data from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, medium and heavy-duty trucks account for only about 4% of vehicles on U.S. roads, yet they consume more than 25% of the nation's fuel supply. This illustrates a massive imbalance between the share of vehicles and the energy they consume. In this context, a fully electric truck like the Semi could become a true game-changer. Instead of relying on diesel, a dirty energy source that directly contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, the Semi offers a cleaner, quieter, and more sustainable alternative. For every Semi that replaces a traditional diesel truck, the reduction in CO2 emissions would amount to tens of tons per year. If you were a fleet operator, would you switch to the Tesla Semi? Why or why not? Do you think Tesla can really produce 50,000 Semi trucks a year by 2026? Let's hear your predictions. Over the years, we've constantly been hearing news and watching videos about new battery technologies for electric vehicles. With the exception of solid-state batteries, almost all of these alternatives are claimed to be significantly cheaper than the lithium-ion batteries currently used across the industry. One of them is even said to be 90% cheaper than LFP batteries, and clearly, the term game changer has been way overused, hasn't it? Most of these exaggerated claims are about sodium-ion batteries, since they're considered the lowest-cost battery technology in the world right now. But are they really 90% cheaper than lithium batteries, as the headlines suggest? No, absolutely not. Basically, they're lying to you. Elon Musk's top partner and Tesla's main battery supplier, CATL, has confirmed that sodium-ion batteries can reach costs about 65% lower, but that 90% figure is simply false. As the world's leading battery manufacturer, CATL bases most of its claims on actual results rather than speculation. Still, what we should really be paying attention to isn't just the price. It's the other factors that make sodium-ion batteries worth considering. Most notably, their lifespan could be up to 3 times longer than lithium batteries. This type of battery really can be a game-changer, just not 90% cheaper like the media hype suggests. So how will Elon Musk take advantage of it? Could sodium-ion batteries be the solution once lithium-ion becomes outdated? This is something you definitely don't want to miss. Why are EVs still more expensive than ICE cars, even though their driving range tends to degrade more quickly over time? The biggest reason likely comes down to battery production costs. Batteries account for 30 to 40% of a car's total value. Although prices have dropped significantly over the past decade, they still hover around $90 to $130 per kilowatt-hour today. For an EV that requires a 60 to 80 kilowatt-hour pack, the battery alone costs about $5,000 to $10,000. And despite the high price, that doesn't necessarily mean these packs come with long lifespans, hence why modern EVs often suffer from noticeable range degradation after a few years of use. That's why, given the challenges faced by the entire industry, creating a battery that's both cheaper and longer lasting carries huge significance. And this is exactly why we believe CATL's sodium-ion battery can truly be considered a real game-changer. Unlike lithium batteries, which rely on scarce resources often subject to geopolitical control, CATL has turned to sodium, an element found everywhere from land to oceans, and even in the salt shaker in your kitchen. This means sodium is virtually unlimited, freeing us from dependence on mineral reserves concentrated in just a few countries. But the real strength of sodium-ion technology isn't only its abundance. Let's break down each advantage to see why. The first thing that makes sodium-ion batteries such a hot topic is cost. At just $19 per kilowatt-hour, Naxtra is already about 65% cheaper than LFP batteries, which usually cost around $55 per kilowatt-hour when purchased in bulk. CATL has even set a goal of bringing that figure down to $10 per kilowatt-hour in the coming years. But even at that level, it's still not a 90% drop. Going from $55 to $19 isn't a 90% reduction, it's about 65%. $10 per kilowatt-hour may be achievable in the future, and we believe it's possible. If that happens, it would be an industry-disrupting figure, just as analyst Tony Seba predicted, a price point that would redefine the entire energy industry. To put it into perspective, a Tesla Model 3 with a 60 kilowatt-hour battery pack currently carries about $3,300 in battery costs. If Elon Musk switched to CATL's Naxtra battery, that cost would fall to roughly $1,140, a savings of more than $2,000. For every car sold, Tesla wouldn't just boost profits, but could also cut prices to compete directly with gasoline cars. And once EVs become cheaper than internal combustion vehicles, the market will enter a new era of true mass adoption. Maybe you don't know, but BYD, LG Chem, and all the other major battery manufacturers are in trouble because the batteries they produce more than anyone else have become outdated and far too expensive, especially when it comes to durability. And the $19 per kilowatt-hour cost is only half the story. Lifespan is what really drew us to this battery, and it's also what makes Naxtra's technology so formidable. Naxtra can withstand up to 10,000 charge cycles while still retaining 85% of its capacity. That's equivalent to about 3.6 million miles, or 5.8 million kilometers. This figure goes far beyond any realistic demand for an electric car. In theory, someone could drive a Tesla equipped with sodium-ion batteries for an entire lifetime without ever needing a replacement. And when the car eventually reaches the end of its life, the battery pack could still be reused for the grid, storing solar or wind power. This is the perfect example of a circular economy. No waste, no disposal, but continuous regeneration within the energy cycle. To put it in perspective, 3.6 million miles means CATL's Naxtra batteries last 3 to 6 times longer than lithium iron phosphate batteries, which top out at around 1 million miles at best. So they're not only cheaper, they're also roughly 3 times more durable, while still holding on to 85% of their original capacity. The reason sodium-ion batteries have such a long lifespan largely comes down to their operating voltage. Sodium-ion cells typically run at a slightly lower voltage than Li-ion, which helps reduce side reactions like electrolyte breakdown or dendrite formation, the main culprits behind lithium battery degradation and the fire risks they carry. Another major complaint about today's lithium-ion batteries is their poor performance under extreme conditions. At temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius, lithium batteries lose efficiency dramatically. At high temperatures, the risk of fire and explosion becomes very real. Sodium-ion, however, is different. From the freezing cold of Alaska to the scorching heat of Nevada or New Mexico, Naxtra batteries continue to run smoothly. According to CATL, their sodium-ion technology can operate reliably between -40 degrees Celsius and 70 degrees Celsius, making it the most temperature-resistant battery in the world, ideal for both electric vehicles and renewable energy storage. Historically, sodium-ion battery technology has faced many major challenges. That's why many experts once claimed it would never succeed. Energy density used to be a huge weakness of sodium-ion batteries. The reason is that sodium ions are larger than lithium ions. This means more space is required to accommodate sodium ions when the battery is operating. As a result, the cells in a sodium-ion battery need to be larger or have more internal space to hold the necessary ions, leading to a lower energy density. On the other hand, sodium is heavier than lithium. This means a sodium-ion battery will weigh more than a lithium-ion battery of the same capacity. This makes the gravimetric energy density of sodium-ion batteries lower than that of lithium-ion batteries. That's why sodium batteries have required many years of research by millions of scientists worldwide, all just to find ways to increase their energy density. But the gap with lithium has been closing rapidly. Just 18 months ago, sodium-ion cells only reach 100 to 120 watt-hours per kilogram. Yet today, Naxtra has achieved 175 watt-hours per kilogram. In fact, this is the highest energy density ever recorded for a mass-produced sodium-ion battery in history. Its density is now comparable to LFP batteries, which are widely used today, including BYD's Blade battery that Tesla installs in its Model Y in Europe. However, that refers to the older generation of Blade batteries. A new version with higher energy density is already in development. CATL's upgrade of sodium-ion batteries from 120 watt-hours per kilogram to 175 watt-hours per kilogram in less than 2 years opens up the prospect that in the coming years, Naxtra batteries could fully catch up with or even surpass the most advanced LFP batteries. According to CATL, the tested Naxtra prototypes are expected to give electric vehicles a driving range of 310 miles on a single charge. Of course, we have to acknowledge that Naxtra's 175 watt-hours per kilogram energy density is not groundbreaking. Compared to Tesla's 4680 battery at 272 watt-hours per kilogram, the gap is still quite significant. CATL aims to bring sodium-ion batteries up to 200 watt-hours per kilogram, but given the current pace of development, it's clear that achieving the target will take more time. However, what truly makes Naxtra stand out is not its energy density, but its stable charging speed. With just 15 minutes of charging, this battery can provide a driving range of up to 310 miles. While it's not comparable to the time it takes to fill a gas tank, which EV skeptics often cite, it's undeniably a major milestone for the EV industry. From a scientific perspective, the key lies in the movement of sodium ions during charging and discharging. In Naxtra batteries, sodium ions shuttle between the anode and cathode through the electrolyte, although they carry the same single positive charge as lithium ions. Sodium ions have a larger radius, allowing them to move more easily in certain optimized electrolytes. In liquid electrolytes, sodium diffuses rapidly, accelerating ion transport and significantly shortening both charging and discharging times. As a result, in theory, a Tesla Model Y equipped with a Naxtra battery could be charged from 10% to 80% in just 15 minutes. Users would no longer have to worry about range anxiety, the fear of running out of battery mid-journey. Instead, they could charge quickly at any charging station, with electricity costs far lower than gasoline. CATL has released results from a series of extreme stress tests, including drilling directly into cells and even cutting a cell in half, yet no thermal runaway. The main cause of fires in lithium-ion batteries occurred. The difference lies in sodium-based chemistry. Unlike lithium, which is highly reactive under extreme conditions, sodium is more stable and less prone to generating heat when subjected to physical stress. This makes Naxtra both safer for users and reduces insurance risks and safety-related costs, while also opening the door for electric vehicles to be used in harsher environments where lithium-ion batteries typically struggle. Additionally, sodium is non-toxic, so Naxtra batteries virtually eliminate health risks if a cell breaks or is damaged, though this doesn't make them completely safe as other components in the battery remain. Nevertheless, when comparing sodium to lithium alone, it's a clear advantage. Lithium-ion batteries tend to produce dangerous chemical reactions when something goes wrong. That also means users no longer have to worry about catastrophic EV fires, with clouds of toxic smoke rising from lithium batteries. As we mentioned, sodium is the core component of Naxtra batteries, an element that's easy to source almost anywhere and much cheaper than lithium. In fact, sodium is the sixth most abundant element in the Earth's crust, while lithium is relatively rare and only found in certain regions. Lithium extraction mainly relies on mineral deposits in salt flats in Chile, Argentina, and Australia, which drives up mining and transport costs and causes prices to fluctuate heavily due to a limited supply chain. On top of that, lithium-ion batteries also require other rare materials like cobalt and nickel. These are expensive resources, which not only raise production costs, but also carry ethical and environmental risks, since most cobalt today comes from the Congo, where labor conditions and environmental impacts are highly controversial. Elon Musk usually considers two top factors for any battery before bringing it to Tesla. 1. Low production cost, and 2. Stable energy density. Sodium-ion batteries meet both of these criteria and are especially well suited for the Tesla Model 2, the affordable EV expected to launch later this year. Given the long-standing relationship between CATL and Tesla, Elon Musk could very well choose Naxtra batteries as a solution for producing a budget-friendly electric car, even though Naxtra batteries haven't yet reached impressive energy density. But in our view, a high range isn't essential for an affordable car. 250 miles is more than enough for daily driving. And that would make the price point even more appealing, since clearly many people have dreamed of owning a Tesla EV for years without being able to afford one. In our opinion, the impact of sodium-ion batteries goes far beyond the auto industry. Renewable energy, solar and wind, is the cheapest in the world today, but it still has a major drawback: intermittency. The sun doesn't shine at night, and the wind doesn't blow consistently. To solve this, the world needs a storage solution that's durable and inexpensive. Sodium-ion batteries fit the bill. With a lifespan 3 to 6 times longer and lower costs than lithium batteries, sodium-ion could allow utility companies to replace large numbers of coal and gas plants while keeping the grid stable for decades. A plant could invest $10 billion in lithium batteries to store energy for 15 years, or invest the same amount in sodium-ion batteries and stretch that lifespan to 30 to 40 years. Which choice makes more sense? The answer is crystal clear. Another advantage that can't be overlooked: the current lithium battery production lines can be converted to make sodium-ion batteries without having to start from scratch. This makes scaling up fast, keeps investment costs low, and diversifies the supply chain. Sodium-ion batteries aren't just cheap, durable, and flexible, they're also safer, with less risk of fire and less environmental impact. This isn't just a technological step forward, it's a comprehensive revolution in economics, the environment, and energy. Of course, no technology is perfect. The $10 per kilowatt-hour target is still ahead, and while energy density has improved quickly, it's still lower than some lithium-ion models. Meanwhile, lithium batteries are showing their weaknesses more clearly. In 2025, when CATL unexpectedly shut down a major lithium mine in Yang Province, China, lithium prices on the market jumped 8% in just one day. The market reaction wasn't just because supply dropped, it was a stark reminder of a hard truth. The entire current electric vehicle industry depends far too heavily on lithium and China. With 60% of global lithium processing capacity controlled by Beijing, this supply chain is essentially a ticking time bomb. The irony is, even if lithium prices drop, the problem doesn't go away. The 90% collapse in lithium prices between 2022 and 2024 caused many mines in Australia and South America to go bankrupt, creating a long-term supply imbalance. When prices bounced back, LFP batteries ranged from $55 per kilowatt-hour to $100 per kilowatt-hour at retail, many times higher than sodium-ion. Meanwhile, lithium batteries last only about 1 million miles, lose efficiency easily below 0 degrees Celsius, and carry a risk of fire at high temperatures. Considering all factors, cost, lifespan, safety, supply, sodium-ion clearly comes out ahead. So why is the public still largely unaware of sodium-ion? Partly because lithium has become the default in people's minds, and partly because past sensational headlines made people skeptical. Clickbait like 90% cost reduction led many to think it was just a marketing stunt. But the reality is different. A 65% actual reduction is still revolutionary. From a macro perspective, sodium-ion isn't just a technology story, it's a geopolitical and economic story. When a country is no longer dependent on lithium, it gains leverage in the transition to renewable energy. When storage costs drop dramatically, solar and wind won't just be the cheapest energy, they'll also become the most reliable. And when electric cars are cheaper than gasoline cars, the shift away from fossil fuels will accelerate rapidly. In other words, sodium-ion doesn't just reshape the EV industry, it has the potential to reshape the world. In summary, sodium-ion batteries aren't a far-fetched idea. They're the inevitable logic of the future. With abundant supply, low costs, incredible lifespan, superior safety, and rapid scalability, they're on the path to replacing lithium-ion. Elon Musk doesn't just see a business opportunity here, he sees a global strategy, positioning Tesla at the center of the 21st century energy revolution. While the rest of the world is still spinning around lithium, sodium-ion is quietly moving forward. So, are you ready to embrace this revolution? Do you believe Tesla will lead the energy revolution with sodium-ion batteries? We don't know what's going on, but sales of the Model Y and Model 3 are suddenly spiking in the US, and it seems most people still don't know that Tesla's affordable car, the Tesla Model 2, is set to launch this November and is much cheaper than the Model Y and Model 3, with a base version expected to cost just $15,990. It's possible that most people are only focused on the fact that the $7,500 federal tax credit will expire next month, and if they don't buy a Model Y now, they'll have to pay an extra $7,500. That could be why people are choosing to buy the Model Y and Model 3 in larger numbers. However, thousands or even millions of customers are patiently waiting for the Tesla Model 2 because they believe it won't be much different from the Model Y while costing half as much. Some comments have pointed out, why would they buy a Model Y for $40,000 to $50,000 when they can get a version of the Model Y for just $16,000? As a piece of advice, if you're eager to experience premium features and a superior driving experience, you should buy the Model Y now. On the other hand, if you're not too demanding about performance, design, and features, you should wait for the Model 2, as Tesla will start selling it in Q1 2026. A lot of new leaks about this car have been reported ahead of its November launch event. So is it good, bad, or missing something? What did Tesla cut to achieve that $15,990 price tag? We bet you'll be shocked by what Elon Musk has done. Tesla has never been considered a budget car brand. Models like the S, X, and even the 3 come with price tags that make many think twice before buying. It's understandable that the idea of Tesla launching a car for just $15,990 raises skepticism. It could be a marketing stunt or an unrealistic promise. Building a cheap car isn't just about cutting component costs or simplifying design. It requires a highly streamlined production line, a stable supply chain, and meticulous cost control down to the last drop of paint. Rumors have circulated that Tesla disassembled a Honda Civic to study how a budget car is made, and Elon Musk realized that the Civic essentially shares the same production line as Honda's pricier models, rather than using a dedicated line for budget cars. This led to the idea that the Model 2 and Model Y are about 80% identical, with no size differences and shared production lines. So what makes the Model 2 over 60% cheaper than the Model Y? Based on leaks prior to the Model 2's launch, they've nearly explained the unbelievably low price of this car. As we all know, before Tesla releases any new model, they spend months testing to ensure every specification is flawless. And the Model 2 has been spotted multiple times under camouflage during testing around the Fremont area, the factory expected to produce this model instead of Geiga, Texas. Previously, we listed at least 21 major changes on this car compared to the Model Y, with extensive simplifications applied. You can review these 21 changes through the table we've compiled. Yeah, these changes significantly impact the cost savings Tesla achieved with the Model 2, though some customers might not be thrilled with the simplifications. For instance, textile seats won't be as comfortable as vegan leather and are harder to clean. The removal of the panoramic glass roof will make the car feel more cramped and less airy. Single-layer acoustic glass will be less quiet. Single-color ambient lighting will make the interior feel a bit duller, and fewer speakers will reduce the quality of the music and movie experience. Okay, so as we mentioned from the start, if you want premium features and a better driving experience, you should go for the Model Y or Model 3. The Model 2 is less suitable and could be disappointing if you expect it to deliver the same experience as sitting in a Model Y. However, the latest leaked information about the Model 2's battery pack and performance is what we should really focus on, as it's better than we expected. Based on the leaked reports, Tesla will use a new type of battery for this car, moving away from the initially planned LFP batteries. Instead, the Model 2 is highly likely to be tested with Tesla's A1 battery, an aluminum-based battery designed to cut costs without compromising power. In the past, Tesla typically used LFP batteries for the most affordable versions of the Model 3 and Model Y. These batteries are favored not only by Tesla, but also by other automakers due to their relatively low cost and solid performance, especially in low temperatures. So, we were almost certain that Tesla would stick with LFP batteries for the Model 2 to keep costs low. However, it seems we jumped to conclusions too quickly, as it's clear that to achieve the competitive $15,990 price tag and take on Chinese rivals, LFP batteries might still be too expensive to bring the Model 2's price below $20,000. As a result, Tesla is reportedly considering an alternative: a battery cheaper than LFP but with significantly better performance. According to leaks from internal sources reported by the media, this new battery technology will completely abandon lithium. Specifically, it's an aluminum-ion battery. When this news broke, we were quite surprised, as every battery Tesla has used since its founding has contained lithium. In recent years, the company has started using batteries with lower lithium-ion content, like NCA and NMC, but never eliminated lithium entirely. Tesla's push to reduce reliance on lithium isn't entirely shocking, given its highly volatile price, Elon Musk once stated.
So the price of lithium and all the raw materials and the battery cells went crazy. It doubled. The price of cells doubled. Price of lithium, I think, went up at almost five-fold or 500%. Went up crazy numbers.
So lithium-based batteries still seem too expensive for Tesla to truly bring an electric vehicle's price below $20,000. The most feasible solution might be switching to non-lithium batteries, using cheaper, more abundant materials, and aluminum is Tesla's choice. And guess what? Just a quick look into aluminum-ion batteries shows they have at least 5 major advantages that could completely outshine lithium batteries, and they happen to be especially suitable for a car like the Tesla Model 2. Notably, the Model 2's battery won't be as large as those in the Model 3 or Model Y. with a capacity likely ranging from 50 kilowatt-hours to 55 kilowatt-hours. A larger battery would significantly increase costs, no matter how inexpensive the battery type is. So, finding a more powerful battery to compensate for the smaller capacity is crucial to ensure the Model 2 doesn't fall short. First, aluminum-ion batteries use aluminum as the primary charge-carrying element instead of lithium, operating on a completely different electrochemical system compared to lithium-ion batteries. While lithium ions carry a single positive charge, aluminum ions carry 3 positive charges. This higher charge allows each aluminum ion to transfer more electrons, increasing current density and enabling energy to move faster and more efficiently within the battery cell. Regarding energy density, we're not sure what figures Tesla will achieve with its aluminum-ion battery, but so far most prototype aluminum-ion batteries tested have reached around 500 watt-hours per kilogram, double the 250 watt-hours per kilogram of current lithium-ion batteries. This is highly significant for the Model 2, because a high-energy density battery means aluminum-ion batteries can store twice the energy per unit of weight, leading to better performance and longer usage time. Thanks to this power, Tesla doesn't need to use as many cells in a battery pack, making it easier to optimize the vehicle's weight for higher overall efficiency. Essentially, this is the first major advantage of aluminum-ion batteries. So, what range can the Model 2 achieve? We can't say precisely because it depends on many factors: the vehicle's weight, motor, drag coefficient, and the exact specifications of the battery pack. Yeah, but our prediction is that the Model 2 will achieve a range of at least 260 miles with just a 53 kilowatt-hour battery. Of course, there will be 2 variants, a standard RWD model and a long-range AWD model, with the long-range variant likely offering a greater range at a higher price. The second advantage is definitely cost. You might not believe it, but despite being a new battery technology, aluminum-ion batteries are cheaper than current LFP batteries. A 50 kilowatt-hour aluminum-ion battery pack is estimated to be about $2,000 cheaper than an LFP pack. This is because aluminum-ion batteries cost around $60 to $70 per kilowatt-hour, while the cheapest LFP batteries are still around $100 per kilowatt-hour. The Model 2 was confirmed by Elon Musk in a discussion with Sandy Munro to be a vehicle produced in massive quantities, more than any other Tesla model. Musk believes demand for this car will be huge, and Tesla aims to produce millions of units annually. So, by saving $2,000 per battery pack, Elon Musk could help Tesla cut billions in costs, lower the retail price, and boost competitiveness in the budget EV segment. The reason aluminum-ion batteries are cheaper than lithium-ion batteries is the incredible abundance of aluminum. Aluminum is 800 to 1,200 times more abundant than lithium in the Earth's crust, while aluminum accounts for 8.2% of the Earth's crust by mass. Lithium is only 0.009%. Additionally, lithium-ion batteries are expensive due to their use of cobalt and nickel. Cobalt prices have fluctuated between $30,000 to $80,000 per ton over the past 5 years, impacted by political instability and ethical issues in mining, particularly in Congo, which supplies over 70% of the global market. In contrast, aluminum costs around $2,200 per ton, is mined in over 40 countries, and offers a more diverse and stable supply chain. For a car with a not-so-great driving range, the charging speed has to be truly impressive, and there's no denying that one of the biggest barriers to EV adoption today is charging time. That's exactly why aluminum-ion battery technology is being seen as a potential breakthrough. In testing, aluminum-ion batteries have reached peak charging power of up to 1,000 kilowatts, allowing a small pack to fully charge in just 3 minutes, a figure that makes the entire industry pay attention. If applied in practice with the expected 53 kilowatt-hour battery pack of the Tesla Model 2, commercial charging speeds would likely fall between 250 to 350 kilowatts. This means users could charge up to 80% in just 10 to 15 minutes, which is significantly faster than the 20 to 40 minutes required with today's lithium-ion technology on Supercharger Phi 3. This advantage not only shortens wait times but also helps address one of the biggest concerns for new EV buyers. Will the car run out of battery on the road? That's why charging speed is the third big advantage of this battery type. With Tesla's charging network constantly being upgraded and expanded, We wouldn't be surprised if the Model 2 could fully charge in just 10 minutes, potentially making it the fastest charging Tesla ever. The fourth advantage is the lifespan and durability of this battery, which truly deserves the title of the longest-lasting battery technology to date, rivaling even solid-state batteries. In terms of longevity, it's a clear winner. 10,000 charging cycles, equivalent to around 20 years of use, compared to the average of just 3,500 cycles, or roughly 7 years, for lithium-ion batteries. This translates into lower battery replacement costs, higher resale value, and a lower total cost of ownership, a particularly important factor in the affordable EV segment. The reason behind this impressive durability lies in the physical and chemical properties of aluminum. Physically, aluminum is an extremely robust material, widely trusted in modern car frames thanks to its strength and resistance to deformation. Chemically, aluminum is far more stable than lithium. While lithium reacts easily with oxygen and water, causing material degradation over time, aluminum naturally forms a protective oxide layer when exposed to the environment. This oxide layer acts as a shield, preventing corrosion and preserving the stability of the anode, thereby extending the battery's lifespan well beyond current technologies. The final advantage is safety. Aluminum-ion batteries are far safer than lithium batteries, which are often considered ticking time bombs. Aluminum batteries use a non-volatile ionic liquid electrolyte that remains stable up to 200 degrees Celsius, virtually eliminating the risk of fire or explosion, a long-standing ghost haunting the lithium-ion battery industry. Tests at Stanford have shown that aluminum-ion batteries can withstand punctures, crushing, and short circuits without generating heat or catching fire. On top of that, they operate reliably across a temperature range of 5 degrees Celsius to 85 degrees Celsius, making them suitable for nearly all climates, from Canadian winters to scorching Arizona summers. This not only enhances user safety, but also reduces maintenance and insurance costs, further strengthening the Model 2's appeal in the mass market segment. Of course, every technology has its drawbacks. For aluminum-ion batteries, performance drops noticeably in extremely cold conditions. At temperatures below -20 degrees Celsius, both charging speed and driving range can decrease by an additional 10 to 20%. This is something users in harsh climates will need to consider, and a challenge Tesla must address if it wants to make the product truly global. Above all, aluminum-ion batteries represent a breakthrough in technology that could reshape how we think about affordable EVs. While the technology is still in its early testing phase and a full assessment will only be possible once the Model 2 launches, it clearly aligns with Tesla's mission, making EVs accessible to the masses. Of course, the battery is only part of the story. For the Model 2 to truly succeed, Tesla will also need to win customers over with a streamlined design, a practical interior experience, smart features, and bold cost-cutting decisions. Some compromises may leave buyers less than fully satisfied, but that may be the price to pay for owning a Tesla at a record low price point. To be fair, Tesla releasing a car that looks like a simplified version of the Model Y may not actually be a disadvantage, even if fans were hoping for a completely fresh design. It's true that many people, including us, want to see something groundbreaking in terms of styling. But if Tesla were to take that route, it would mean restarting the entire production process, which translates to massive costs, longer timelines, and added pressure on factory capacity. Instead, building a car that carries up to 80% of the Model Y's DNA, then running it directly through existing production lines while simplifying everything from the exterior and interior to the battery pack, is the fastest and most cost-efficient way to make a $15,990 Tesla a reality. And this approach is hardly new. Legacy automakers have been doing it for decades. Mercedes-Benz, Audi, and BMW all rely on modular platforms to create vehicles that look nearly identical across different price segments. Think about it. Without looking closely, how many people can really tell the difference between the EQS SUV and the EQE SUV? Even Rivian follows this philosophy. The upcoming R2 is essentially a scaled-down R1S, yet it's already generating huge market buzz. Even within Tesla's own lineup, the Model 3 and Model Y have often been criticized for looking so similar that they're hard to tell apart. So if the affordable Model 2 borrows its design language from the Model Y, the Model 3, or even blends in a few elements from the Cybercab, it won't diminish its appeal. After all, most customers are drawn to the Model 2 for one key reason: price. That's the deciding factor, and it could become Tesla's strongest weapon in reclaiming market share that's rapidly being eroded by rivals, especially BYD. Would you be willing to trade some premium features for a lower price and faster charging? What design elements do you hope to see in the Tesla Model 2 to make it stand out from the Model 3 or Model Y? Drop your answers in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of EVs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay charged.